some steps organizations can take to move the needle towards good, maybe past good to great?
So great question. I think, again, showing how ITAM has evolved. Back in the day, I'm sure you'd have had someone on here saying, hey, invest in an ITAM tool. That will massively help you get from, mediocrity and averageness into greatness, because it will automate effective license positions for you and it will show you where your risks are. I've worked with so many clients now that getting the ITAM tool is like the final piece of the puzzle.
Right.
Getting to good, we'll use good rather than great, first of all. Getting to that stepping stone of good is exactly what we said before. It's getting that control in place, first of all, because normally if you're average, below average, just a shambles, it's because you've got no control. It's the wild, wild west. You've got no kind of processes for requesting new hardware. The software estate's just completely shadow. You don't have a clue what's out there until renewal comes or an auditor comes knocking. So always stepping stone number one that I like to do initially is to do like a gap analysis, first of all, to say, okay, right, this is what amazing ITAM looks like. Okay. This is where you guys are. You can see the difference here, can't you? Yeah,
Yeah.
This is up here. You guys are like, down there. But here's how we're going to do that with all these different steps. First of all, look, we haven't got any amazing tools. Let's just get some interim processes in. Don't even have to be the ones that are set in stone. Let's just get some basic stuff in so that we can get control, get some comms out there to say, look, stop installing software that hasn't gone through information security or your technical design boards or architecture or ITAM, just an email with some bullet points in and say, look, ITAM's here now. This is the initial controls we're putting in. This is how you request hardware and software. This is how we manage the end of life of it. This is how we're going to track your consumption. Just baby steps. Don't boil the ocean. Get those key core basic processes for ITAM, software, hardware, and FinOps, whatever your scope is, so that you can start building that, start getting ITAM's name out there. Because if you just go straight in and go, right, admin rights removed, no more hardware purchases, nothing like that, you straight away, you're just going to be known as the police.
Right.
You're going to not make any friends. You're not going to influence anyone. But if you go in, start implementing some baby steps, get some processes, get some work instructions on how the process works, get a RACI matrix, work on that with the key stakeholders who are involved in that. And then ultimately start getting some quick wins in like the software space. You can show savings, or hardware, just go around the office and get stuff out of cupboards and drawers and just shout about it. Get people aware of it, get people understand on what you're doing. And as you start to add up on those baby steps, suddenly you'll realize you've got 15 ham processes and 12 SAM ones. And you've got some FinOps processes over here as well. And suddenly you've got the foundations for an ITAM function.
Right.
Yeah, admittedly, you've not gone in and gone, bang, saved $10 million on this renewal, bang, hardware budget halved for next year, but you're putting those foundations in. And I think that's what I really like to involve all of the stakeholders as well. Even if they've got no interest in it, invite them to the meeting, show them the process flow, show them the RACI, show them the instructions, the guides, consult them about an email you're about to send to all of their users to say, stop, installing software, go through ITAM for licenses and stuff. And I think, that very quickly gets ITAM's name out there. You've got some core basic controls. And as you go forward, like I said, you realize you've built something here. You've got a bit of a document library going on. Now we need to actually update these because we've moved on. The organization's moved on. They're more aware. Then, you start building up. Suddenly the maturity starts improving. Suddenly you're reaching that good status. And then you're going, how can we be great? Right. Then you can take that next, you can jump off that cliff edge and just go all out and just go for best practice and, automated reharvesting of software licenses, constant reviewing of hardware models as well to see if there's a cheaper option out there, whatever it may be. So I think just in terms of getting to that good bit, don't try and boil the ocean is whatever I always try and go in and say, right? Baby steps. Rome wasn't built in a day. ITAM's not going to be built in a day. Just baby steps.
And I appreciate you going straight at process. And I want to add one to it. You also have to equip your people, both the stakeholder side and your expertise ITAM people side. Because way before you implement the tool, you have to have the people side ready to go and the process side ready to go. Is that your feeling as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the reason why I'm such a big advocate for processes first is because it gives ITAM that standing and that foundation to be able to start making that difference and showing people what they need to be doing. And if you've got it fully documented, and then someone comes to you and says, how do I request a new license? Or I've got a renewal coming up, how do I go about doing this? You go, oh, great, thanks for asking. Here's the process flow. Here's all the stakeholders involved. Here's what I'll be doing or will be doing as ITAM to go support you through that, optimize it, make sure it comes out the right cost center, etc. So straight away, you're giving the power back to the end user or the stakeholder. Say, look, we've defined this, we've agreed on it. Just in case you've forgotten, here's all the documentation so that you know what we're going to be doing for this.